So something unusual happened. Samsung actually sent us the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus 5G in a box. That doesn't always happen. Usually when we get units from Samsung, these are engineering samples. So what we have right here is actually the retail unit. Earlier on, we asked for the Galaxy S8 Plus Ultra, which is the biggest in the Galaxy Tab S8 series. So you have the Galaxy Tab S8, Galaxy Tab S8 Plus, which we have right here, and of course the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra. Now, the main difference between the three is that the base model Galaxy Tab S8 comes in a 4G and Wi-Fi only version. It also has a 11-inch screen and a much smaller battery at 8,000 milliamp hours. Now the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus has a much bigger screen at 12.4 inches. It also uses a Super AMOLED display panel. It comes with 5G capabilities and a much bigger battery at 11,000 milliamp hours. The Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra, which is what we wanted, has a massive display at 14.6 inches. That's almost 15 inches Super AMOLED display. Like the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus, it also supports 5G and it has a whopping 11,200 milliamp hour battery as well as dual selfie cameras, a wide and a ultra wide 12 megapixel camera. Fortunately, stocks for the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra is limited, so we are stuck with the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus right now. This to me is sort of a middle ground among the three, and there are compromises that you're gonna have to make, but at the same time it sort of has all the features that you would want from the Ultra, such as a Super AMOLED display, 5G capabilities, and a big battery. It's also much cheaper at 64,000 pesos compared to 78,000 pesos on the Galaxy Tab Ultra. Now, if you are on a budget, the Galaxy Tab S8 Wi-Fi would only cost you 42,000 pesos, while the 4G version is going to cost you 48,000 pesos. Okay, so let's begin. Actually, the box is already open, but I haven't looked at it yet. So here it is. Okay. And after you open the top panel, you're going to be greeted by Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. Let's take it out. Okay, I'm not sure how to take it out. So there's that 12.4-inch Super AMOLED display. Over to the back, you have dual rear cameras. You have a 13 megapixel main camera, as well as a 6 megapixel ultra wide camera, as well as a LED flash. Now over to the side, you'll find the USB Type-C port, as well as speaker grills. You have two speaker grills on one side, and you have two more on the other side. So you have a total of 4 speakers on the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus. Now at the bottom, you see this custom connector, which is what you're gonna be using if ever you wanna dock the Tab S8. And on the top edge, we find the power button, volume rocker, as well as the SIM tray right here. It doesn't look like the unit comes with a pre-installed screen protector, so you're gonna have to purchase one and install it yourself if you wanna protect your investment. And by the way, this is a 120 Hz display panel right here. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. Let's go through the setup process. We just connected to our Wi-Fi 6 network. And by the way, for those of you who have Wi-Fi 6, as well as the rich ones out there who have a Wi-Fi 6E network, this device should support both. So the nice thing about the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus is that it comes with an in-display or under-display fingerprint scanner, which makes it very easy and simple to unlock with your fingerprint. Over here, we have the S Pen. Very nice, very simple. Has a clicker or a button, physical button. Over to the back, we'll just leave it there for now. Here we have the SIM tray removal pin. And there appears to be some documentation inside. It's just a guide to remove the SIM tray. Alright, here is a USB Type-C cable. Appears to be longer than what you usually get from mobile devices. Check it out. Samsung also supplied us with some accessories, and we're gonna go through it right now. So this is the book cover slim, and if you look at the print, it actually mentions a Galaxy Tab S8 Plus and Galaxy Tab S8 Plus 5G. So this leads us to believe that there must be a non-5G version of the Galaxy Tab S8 Plus in other markets. And it's also backwards compatible with the Galaxy Tab S7 series. Okay, we completely destroyed the packaging. I wanted to keep it intact. Very nice. And if you put the S Pen right here, it's gonna automatically latch onto that. It is magnetized, which is great. So if you're gonna be using it as a protective cover or as a case, this is how you're gonna be doing it. The keyboard does add additional weight, but the back is magnetized, so it's not just gonna fall by itself. See? So I'm just holding it by the cover, but the tablet is not falling. And this is how you're gonna be using it if you're gonna dock it and use the keyboard like a laptop. Now that we've finished the setup process, we finally get to see the home screen. This is Android 12 running on Samsung One UI 4.1. So using the tablet so far, the experience has been pretty smooth. Navigating the home screen, opening and closing applications, switching between applications is snappy. It does come with several applications pre-installed. You have YouTube Music, Netflix, Spotify, as well as your Samsung apps, which to me is an acceptable amount of pre-installed software. So we're gonna go ahead and install our benchmarks and run some tests. Let's do a speaker test. What do you think? Now we're gonna do our HDR test or video test. The highest that we can go, or the highest that is allowed in YouTube, is 2160 at 60 FPS HDR. So let's check it out. What do you think so far? I think it looks great. So we can see here that it actually has a Qualcomm Adreno 730 GPU clocked at a maximum of 492 megahertz. Refresh rate 120 hertz on this Super AMOLED display, 12.4 inches. We have an octa-core CPU, 64 bits, clocked at maximum of 2.995 megahertz. That's almost 3 gigahertz. So 4 cores clocked at 1.785 megahertz, 3 cores clocked at 2.496, and 1 core clocked at 2.995 gigahertz. Now I just launched PenUp, which is the built-in application for drawing on the Galaxy Tab S8. We're gonna try to draw something. So here's a sample of my pen chip. So here's that Wi-Fi 6 capability that I was telling you about earlier. We are connected to our Wi-Fi 6 router. It's an EX23 router, and currently it shows that we are connected at a network speed of 960 or 1.2. It changes from time to time. Looking at the playback capabilities on Netflix, it seems that the maximum playback resolution here is Full HD, although our account actually has UHD support or 4K, and it does support HDR playback. So what you're seeing right here is The Expanse Season 6, one of my favorite shows. And if you look at the tags right here, it should say that it supports 4K and HDR content. So we're gonna go and play that right now.
The other ships aren't falling back to protect it.
Wow, really good. The images are very crisp and sharp, which is exactly the kind of display that we would expect from a very high quality playback device such as this. Okay, so I'm looking at the hardware information using device info hardware. Since we couldn't really find any information about the chipset, we had to get it directly, and it seems that this machine is running on the Snapdragon SM8450, which is kind of the successor to the Snapdragon 888. I'm gonna go ahead and take some sample photos and videos and project it on the screen so you guys can see for yourself. Then please do comment if you think the images are good. By the way, what we're actually more interested in rather than the rear camera is the front-facing camera or the selfie camera, because if you're going to be using a tablet, the chances are it's also what they're going to be using if you're going to go and join some conference calls, video calls. Now I'm gonna go install some games. Because of the size of the screen, I'm not gonna recommend the tablet for games like MOBA and first-person shooters, but it is going to be beneficial for games that don't require that you hold the entire device like this, such as RPGs. So this would be the perfect device for a game such as Genshin Impact, which is very graphical, and it's something that you can certainly enjoy on a much bigger and high quality screen. Other than browsing and streaming content, one of the things that I like to do on tablets would be to read comics. So right now, what you're seeing here is Marvel Unlimited. I'm gonna move it up close. So one of the things that is nice about the 12.4-inch screen is that it is big enough for the text to be readable in landscape. So even the smaller text is readable, and if it's not, you can just simply zoom in. Then you factor in the Super AMOLED display, which produces very vivid colors, deep blacks, wide dynamic range, which makes the overall experience of consuming content such as comic books much more pleasing and more exciting. The Galaxy Tab S8 Plus has been a pleasant surprise so far, and it doesn't feel like I'm missing out on anything on the Galaxy Tab S8 Ultra despite having a smaller screen. So we're still getting that 120Hz Super AMOLED display, which to me is something that's gonna spoil you. And I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to go back to using a non-Super AMOLED tablet anytime soon. It also supports HDR playback, so those of you who like to watch HDR content will be happy with this. And the speakers are actually pretty good for what you could get from a tablet nowadays. It's not that heavy, and I didn't actually notice the weight, even with the added weight of the fuller keyboard accessory that you can get separately. And the pen is very responsive, very accurate. So those of you who like to draw on your tablets, you will be happy with the built-in or the S Pen that's supplied with the package. And by the way, the package doesn't come with a charger, although it has a USB Type-C cable. You can charge this device at 45 watts. So it has a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, which we have yet to test. Still, the performance on this device leaves nothing to be desired. Very, very, very fast, 3.0 gigahertz maximum speed. It also has 8 gigs of RAM, which is more than enough for anything that you might throw to a modern tablet nowadays. For connectivity, this device supports 5G as well as Wi-Fi 6E. So with that being said, do you guys have any questions? Do you have any violent reactions? Do you have any comments? Feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Like always, we really appreciate your support. If you found this video helpful, please do subscribe to us. And until next time, this has been Quid, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Paalam!